In this video, I'll show you my Mini Z RC collection 1 year after getting into the hobby. Let's go. So in the last year, I've acquired 9 different RC vehicles, including 3 for off-road, 5 on-road Mini Zs, and 1 F1 RC car. And aside from those, I've also gotten a few different Mini Z bodies. So let's take a closer look at everything. First up is a Mini Z MR03 rear-wheel drive with a GL Racing branded Lamborghini body. I love the design on this body, it looks amazing. Now the chassis underneath is almost all stock. You can see a transponder for the timing system on top. The front suspension I've changed to orange Kyosho springs. I've changed the wheels to alloy wheels and alloy wheel nuts, and I've upgraded the bushings to bearings. Still the stock motor, stock diff, that's pretty much it. Next up we have another Mini Z MR03. On this one I'm using the Porsche body, which has become quite rare and hard to find. It's gone up in value. And on this car I've upgraded the whole chassis to blue. I'm using the Next Racing dual spring suspension and carbon fiber damper plate, Next Racing aluminium motor mount, and I've changed the motor to a PN Racing 70 turn brushed motor. I'm still using the stock diff, green springs on the front, carbon fiber T-plate, and replaced all the bushings with bearings. Next up is my most used Mini Z for racing, another MR03 rear-wheel drive. And on this one I'm using an iWaver branded Ferrari Enzo body, which I found on eBay for 20 Australian dollars, much cheaper than Kyosho auto scale bodies, yet it still looks pretty nice. And on this car I'm mainly using PN Racing branded parts, dual spring suspension, carbon fiber damper plate, aluminium motor mount, 70 turn brushed motor, ceramic ball diff, transponder on the top, Kyosho yellow springs at the front, upgraded battery clips, alloy wheel nuts, bushings replaced with bearings, and carbon fiber T-plate at the bottom. This car handles really nicely for racing and is my main car that I use. Next up is my MA-020 all-wheel drive Mini Z, previously used for drifting. I've put softer tyres on it to use it for racing, and all I've upgraded is the motor to a 70 turn brush motor and using alloy wheel nuts. Next up is my fastest Mini Z, an MR03 Evo, which uses a brushless motor. On this one I'm using the Jomurema GT01 body, which I painted myself, and here's the MR03 Evo chassis, which has upgraded electronics to support brushless motors. I'm using a Kyosho rear suspension and damper plate system, an R246 motor mount, 5600 kV brushless motor, Kyosho ball diff. It already came with bearings. On this one I also upgraded the battery clips, and the front suspension on this one I've upgraded completely to the PN Racing version 4 double A-arm front suspension system, which completely changes the way the car handles and gives you many more tuning options. Using a carbon fiber T-plate on this one and alloy wheel nuts. Now this car is still a bit too fast for me. I still need to improve my driving skills a bit so I can take full advantage of this fast setup. Now a quick look at my off-road vehicles. I got the team associated SC28, the Mini Z brushless buggy, and the Kyosho Mini Z 4x4 Jeep. Next up is a car I'm really excited about that I just got a month ago, the GL Racing GLF-1 Formula 1 car. Kyosho used to make Mini Z F1 cars, but they're discontinued and really hard to find. So if you want to get an F1 car, the GL Racing GLF-1 is the way to go. I ordered this one from a guy based in Hong Kong who I found on the Mini Z Facebook groups. He supplied it, assembled it, and painted it for me to look like the McLaren of Daniel Ricciardo, and I think he did a pretty awesome job. He even put red markings on the tyres to make them look like soft compound tyres, which is pretty cool. Let's take a quick look at the chassis. I'm running a 3500 kV brushless motor. I'm running the ESC that came with the kit as well as the servo, and I haven't actually gotten this car running yet as I'm still waiting for a receiver to arrive that's compatible with my FlySky transmitter, so I don't actually know how well it runs, but from the videos I've seen they run pretty well and look really nice on the track. Let's take another look at all my running RC cars that I've collected after 1 year. And now let's look at my small collection of bodies that I've acquired. First up are two red Audi R8s. I got the second one because the first one got really damaged and the wing broke off, and then my son had plenty of fun putting stickers all over the first one. Next up are my two Jomurema GT01 bodies that I painted myself. Check out my previous video on those, and these bodies are really great for racing, so get one if you don't have one already. Next up are my McLaren MP4-12C bodies, which are my current favorite Mini Z bodies at the moment. The blue one on the right is one that I painted myself, and I'm fairly happy with the way it turned out, and these bodies are also really good for racing. Here's a white iWaver branded Ferrari Enzo body that I got when I got the red one, so I got two of these and they both look really nice. Next up is my Nissan GTR, which is the body that came with the first Mini Z I got 1 year ago, back in August 2020. These bodies are identical. I found them both in a local hobby store. They are Ferrari F355s, and I decided to grab one to run and one for the shelf. Here's a body I really like the look of, but I don't really like the way it handles on the track. It's the Mercedes AMG GT3. Here's the Skyline body that came with my Mini Z all-wheel drive, the HKS Skyline GTR R32. And finally we have the Lexan truck body that I ordered from overseas that I painted in blue, but I haven't been able to run it yet as I need to buy a Lexan mounting kit for the Mini Z chassis. But let's put it on the chassis and see what it's supposed to look like. I think it looks pretty cool. I'm keen to see how well it runs on the track one day. Here are a couple bodies I have yet to paint. One is a Mazda 787B and the other is another McLaren 12C. Here's a quick look at my transmitter. It's the FlySky Noble NB4, and you can use it with Mini Z RC cars by getting the RM005 module that they sell. And I'm using this one transmitter for all my Mini Z RC cars, and I think it's a huge improvement in the control and response that you get over the stock transmitters, and it's nice not having to switch transmitters every time you drive a different car. Anyway, that's my whole collection after 1 year being in the hobby. I've put the brakes on spending any more as it's so easy to get hooked in and keep spending non-stop, so I've slowed down quite a bit. I'm still enjoying the hobby and still trying to find more people in my area who want to race. So thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more RC content, and I'll see you next time.